biggest platforms, two biggest platforms, Alibaba and also AliExpress. Both of these platforms are actually a huge opportunity for foreigners. And many people actually, when they're entering the Chinese market, they might come with their products and services and thinking to sell into the Chinese market. That's also great. Yes, it's got a lot of challenges. It's really encouraged, but there is also another way. You can form a company here in China and then be a part of the global export flow, basically. So you can start your own company and just jump on the board, basically, because China is exporting a lot of goods around the world. So you can be part of it and start selling globally using Alibaba and AliExpress.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of the Caddy Show. In today's globalized economy, whether you are a small startup or a multinational corporation, you want to have a share in the rapidly growing economy, China. With a population of over 1.4 billion and a rapidly growing middle class, China offers immense opportunities for businesses looking to expand their operations and access to new markets. However, doing business in China can also be challenging given the country's unique culture, language, business etiquette, and regulatory environment. That's why I've invited Jasur Pavlianov to share his insights of doing business in China. Jasur is the managing director of JR and Firm and Shanghai Silk Road corporate consultancy companies in Shanghai and Wyoming. Born and raised in Uzbekistan, he moved to the UK in 2005 to pursue his education, where he studied business law. After completing his law degree, Jasur decided to take a bold step and move to China in 2012, where he studied his master's degree in law and politics. Then he established a corporate consultancy company in Shanghai, providing a wide range of services to foreign companies interested in entering the Chinese market, including company registration, structuring, liquidation, mergers and acquisitions, and other tailor-made business consultancy services. He has helped numerous foreign businesses, including Fortune 500 companies, navigated the complexities of doing business in China that made him a highly sought-after corporate consultant in the region. He is passionate about helping businesses succeed in China and is committed to providing exceptional service to his clients. He is a testament to the success that can be achieved through hard work, determination, and a willingness to take risks. It's such an honor to have you on my show, Jasur. There are so many promising places in the world you can choose to start your career. So why you chose China?
All right. First of all, thank you very much for a great introduction, Kelly, and great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Well, honestly speaking, choosing China came to me in a mixture of, I would say, an accident and, of course, eager interest in the Chinese culture. Back then, when I was in the UK, right after graduation, working, practicing my field, I was already, thinking about emerging markets. And my first choice basically was to move to Hong Kong and, be closer to China. I couldn't really, think of moving entirely into mainland China because for obvious reasons, basically, couldn't speak any Chinese. And I thought maybe just, going to Hong Kong, I could be closer at the same time, but I could, keep, communicating in English. But later I met several entrepreneurs from Shanghai, specifically back in London. I talked to them, and the result of those conversations and discussions led me to, moving to China and started, testing the water, so to speak. But of course, the main reason is China. Just like I felt back then, China is, the market is expanding, one of the strongest economies in the world, and back then it was very, very apparent that the Chinese market is going to be one of the important ones. So I wanted to be part of it, basically. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, sounds good. So how did you get started with your entrepreneurial journey? Did you graduated from schools and you just started your business, or did you work for companies and start your business?
Yeah, I came just like you introduced. I came to China as a student because in new market. Although I was kind of familiar with business building, I ran a company before back in my home country, also in the UK.
Okay.
But to be honest, I didn't really want to start a company in China straight away. I wanted to be here for some time, maybe get have some friends, learn the basic language, and most importantly, I wanted to see how it's like to live here. Because what all we hear, before you visit any new country, all you get is theoretical knowledge, right? You browse through the internet, maybe even talk to people, but until you are here in person and see it yourself, maybe it's this is when you can actually decide. So I wanted to be a student first, and I actually studied here, did my master's law and politics, and then at the same time I was researching different fields, what to do, how can I start my own journey, and how can I put my roots here, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sounds good. Okay, so have you ever made any mistakes during your entrepreneurial journey, and what have you learned?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. I mean, absolutely. Just like in any entrepreneur's journey, I definitely made a lot of mistakes. If I look back, probably, I would do some things differently. But you never know. You never know. I was all the time like, exploring mode, basically, trying out different fields. For example, I had a partner back then. I used to live in Wuhan, by the way, before Shanghai. So I had a partner there, and both of us were really, you know, um, trying to, like, really excited to start a business at the same time, but we really didn't know which field to go into. So if I tell you what kind of businesses we did, it will be a long list. So just to name a few, we started by producing t-shirts for different businesses and companies. We had this t-shirt printing business. So we did that. We sold many, actually. We sold to local football clubs. There was a rugby club as well, Wuhan Rugby Club, and different restaurants, etc., etc. But later on, we moved to catering business as well. We for a short period of time we run a restaurant, a mobile restaurant, so to speak, for just like Meituan. People order online, and then it was a delivery. But that was, quite success as well. But then, after learning a little bit, so to speak, we decided to start our own company, and this is where Shanghai Silk Road came to be. And that's when this, things got a little serious. So after making a lot of connections as well, which is very important in China.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. When it comes to starting a business, running a business, connections are very important. I remember one of my mentors says, connection equals contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially in China, I mean, I would say, I couldn't agree more, because in here, this is actually in the, you see it every day business, transactions, like connections are very important here. In some cultures, people, it takes some nationalities, maybe when they come first time in China, it takes them some time to get adapted to this, atmosphere. But I would say it's this is the very important element in
Yes.
doing business in China. Yeah.
Yes. So from all those your entrepreneurial journey, all those let's say trials and errors, from your observation, what industries do you think are thriving in China right now?
Well, definitely, there are education, I would name like
Yeah.
straight away. That would be my first choice of industry,
Mhm.
because I'm sure you are aware of the government is controlling the education,
Yes.
especially the school curriculum and
Yeah.
academic curriculum.
Yes.
So this demand for STEM subjects, for example, or extracurricular activities is rising every day in China because of that.
Mhm.
So basically, nowadays, it's really hard to obtain, for example, language training school license.
Mm.
So many institutions, many private language schools, what they're doing, they are kind of switching to STEM subjects, for example, and at the same time they are teaching STEM at the same time English,
Mm.
basically through English STEM subjects. So
Yes.
this is one area, I would say. Another area is definitely e-commerce.
Mm.
Because you've got here the biggest platforms, two biggest platforms, Alibaba and also AliExpress.
Mm.
Both of these platforms are actually a huge opportunity for foreigners, and
Yeah.
many people actually, when they're entering the Chinese market, they might come with their products and services and thinking to
Yes.
sell
Mm.
into the Chinese market. That's also great. Yes, it's got a lot of challenges. It's really encouraged, but there is also another way. You can form a company here in China and then be a part of the global export flow, basically.
Mm. Mm.
So you can start your own company and just jump on the board, basically, because China is exporting a lot of goods around the world. So you can be part of it and start selling globally using Alibaba and AliExpress. That's a
Mm.
huge opportunity. If you figure out one unique product that, for example, there's a huge demand in developing countries, for example, let's say developed countries, for example, US, Canada, etc., or even Southeast Asia, there's a
Yeah.
huge demand for Chinese made products. So I would say, yeah, e-commerce and education top the list. But if, of course, sometimes in my company, sometimes we are approached by larger companies, larger entrepreneurs with a huge investment and a lot of funds. So if that's the case, if they're considering a huge investment, like serious investment, I would say healthcare is another, field that's thriving in China, because you see every day here, private hospitals, private clinics are opening up, and there's always high demand for quality medical service.
Mhm.
So that's a huge, opportunity, I would say.
Yes. So far, Jasur and I are working on a book about business Chinese, and you will learn the corporate language in Chinese, Chinese business etiquette, and how do Chinese people think. And it will definitely help you to have a wild success in China. And to grab the book, you can click the link in description below and scan the QR code on the left side. Maybe you have been following me for quite some time now. You've been watching my videos for a period of time. I want to hear from you how my work has impacted your life and your Chinese learning process. I want you to comment below and share with me your story, because that's what gives me the drive, the motivation to create more, to inspire more. I do read every single one of your comments, so I look forward to reading your story.